Hey guys, King of Charmanders here. Today I'll be your judge, your jury, and your analyst. And today I bring to you the second edition, well, I think it's the second edition, of the ever popular and fabled Love Cup. Now, Love Cup isn't going to be, Love Cup is going to be around like February, because you know, Valentine's Day. Good job, Niantic. You're kind of cultured. Not really. You're terrible. I don't want to praise you for anything good except for like increased stop distance because of the fact that you're a terrible company. But anyways, speaking of no love, Niantic totally doesn't have love for us. However, King of Charmanders does have love advice for you because I am actually a marriage family therapist. Still a trainee, but I'm working on getting a license. So once you're like on the first step in, you're kind of there. But I did specialize in marriage relationships when I was in the United States Air Force. And I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of things I've seen when it comes to relationships and marriages as well. So it really makes me think, is it really worth it to tie the knots? It totally is. However, this is not kind of like a mental health tip today, but it's more like a family therapy tip or like a relationship therapy tip. Communication. If you are in a loving relationship, make sure you communicate and trust with your partner. Find compromise, and you will have that happy wife, happy life, happy husband, happy life kind of deal. Take it or leave it. I mean, it's what it is. I mean, every situation is different. Of course, there can be a variety of situations, but generally, yes. Communicate, trust, and also a happy wife is a happy life. It is in fact very, very, very true. Anyways, enough about that. This is the Season 10 Love Cup early meta analysis. I think red and pink Pokemon are the only thing allowed, and there's a certain list that it's out there, but they put like this huge list, and then here you go. This is what's allowed for Season 10. But we're going to look at, with all the Pokemon and all the buffs and beef-ups going on right now, which Pokemon are meta and which ones you should look out for the Season 10 Love Cup. So here's a general review of the Love Cup and its timeline. So the Love Cup, as you see here, is going to operate from February 7th to February 21st. You're going to get 3 times the Stardust from awards. So whether or not you are in a relationship or not, you can have a relationship with Pokemon Go, a great relationship, because you will have triple dust. So there will be incentive to get that dopamine in your blood so that you can get Stardust to build PvP mons or whatever you want for the game. So from February 7th to February 21st, you got 2 weeks. We scroll down. Now the Love Cup has some interesting additions because of the fact that the Love Cup is eligible red or eligible pink Pokemon. I'm not going to go over the entire list because the custom list you pull up anyways will generate it for you, so you don't have to worry about it. And only red or pink Pokemon will be allowed. Some of you really like the Love Cup, some of you really hated it just because some meta picks are allowed, but it's generally a fun cup and there's a lot of things you could do with it. I really enjoy Cherum hyper beaming everything to death in the previous Love Cup. I absolutely love it. Hashtag get beamed, by the way. And without further ado, let's get started on the early meta analysis and what the custom rankings look like for the Season 10 Love Cup. Alright, so the number one reason why most people didn't really like the Love Cup that much was because of Charmers. As you see, Clefable and Wigglytuff strats, double Charm, or just Charm in general, is incredibly oppressive and does really, really well for this cup. If you make Legend early, well, guess what? You can just run double Charm and run your way through this cup like a madman. Scrafty is number one for the fact it's able to bait shields and foul play, but that's not really the true ranking as far as Scrafty being up top, but that doesn't deny that Wigglytuff 2-shield strats are very powerful. Lickitung XL is a new thing to this cup as well. Lickitung is very powerful, however, you do lose against things like Wigglytuff, and you can get double, Charm 2-shield strats are just basically insanely strong and will do well in this cup. Shadow Razor Leafers are also very powerful in this cup. Shadow Vileplume, you also have things like Shadow Vileplume, you have Churum with Churum with Razor Leaf, Execute or Confusion user, so this is like fast move damage galore. Another thing that came up though is Milotic. Milotic is thick, and with Waterfall it's very powerful. You're not going to run Dragon Tail just because of Charmers. If you run into a Charmer and you have Dragon Tail, it really sucks for you. Other than that, Magcargo did get a buff with Incinerate. However, it's going to be really interesting how it plays out. With Incinerate, Magcargo is going to fly up higher on the rankings. I foresee it to climb up higher in the rankings. However, what makes it kind of iffy is that you're double weak to water. So things like my Lodic, Alomomola, which I actually can say its freaking name right because of the fact I've done so much content on it, is insanely thick, insanely powerful, and can essentially just farm down Magcargo. And with Incinerate, you technically have a worse matchup with it. So it's a you're in a very rough place. Yes, if you're excited for the Magcargo buff, it's cool, but it's also not that cool. Well, for your fire type, because you're just going to get washed up. You get it? Anyways, as you see here, things like Crustle, Slowking, other things are still very powerful. And a lot of the meta hasn't really changed too much. And just because the reason being is the XLs that were prominent, which is Medicham XL, it's still the same, pretty much the same exact, almost the same exact meta to the team. Almost. With a few changes like here and there. Again, this isn't the true list, so maybe when the buffs/debuffs go out, it's going to change a lot. Along with that, Octillery did get a lock-on buff. So with Octillery getting lock-on, this is going to be an absolutely annoying mon to have in the league because you see it has Octaguzuka as well as Gunk Shot. So you're going to have something that can get you mad. It's going to be like a Registeel that can get you mad Octazuka energy, and then you can just nuke Charmers. With this versatility, Octillery is probably going to be a very great and top mon in the Love Cup. They literally buffed it just for the Love Cup. So things like Electrode or other picks with Hyper Beam or other sorts of that are going to be fun, or you're just going to see the Grass type archetype try to come out there, so you might have, if you start seeing a lot more Octilleries out in the meta. So I forgot to mention this. So this is the one shield. However, if you want to auto-populate these results and take a look for them yourself, all you have to do is go up here, go to the rankings, click on custom rankings above, and then all you have to do is go to Important League and go to Love Cup. It will filter all the mons for you, so you don't have to look at that list and input every single individual name yourself. It's really annoying, and the first time I did it, I had to do this myself. So it was really annoying, and it was just dumb. But now thanks to our Lord and Savior PvPoke.com, please consider contributing to PvPoke.com. You can, now everything's grandfathered in, so we can easily just put it out there. The list goes on, and then poof, we have the Love Cup. In the one shield, things get a little more dicey. As you see, Lickitung XL and Medicham XL are a lot more powerful. Alomomola and its tankiness is so good, and the reason why Lickitung is so good is because Lickitung is able to take out a lot of the water archetype. You will lose against things like Electrode and things like Medicham as well. However, the thing about it is that those aren't bad rankings. Anything close to a 500 is not a bad matchup for you or your opponent. Because what happens is, yes, they win switch or win the lead or whatever position they're in. However, you are down shields or you're in the closer. So they can have something that just nukes your entire back row. So might not be a bad thing, but other than that, Lickitung XL is a beast. It's super thick and annoying. You probably played it a lot in Open Great League and in subsequent cups like Great League Remix, etc. Well, yeah, Great League Remix or whatnot. But as you see here, Charms in the one shield, Charmers are still strong. The Fire archetype comes in to be really powerful as well. The only thing iffy about Fire, again, it's water. Alomomola, Milotic, especially with the new Octazuka buff, like those things are going to be out there, and it's going to annoy the living hell out of you because you're like, oh, okay, cool, I just got debuffed to -2. What else can be worse? Well, it can also get worse because you see here things like Kingler, or really just like well, not really even Kingler. Well, Kingler's an interesting one, but more like just fast move damage to death. As you see here, a water, like you have Volt Switch Electrode, you have Confusion users, you have Smackdown users, you like, well, not really Dwebble, but Crustle with Smackdown works. You could use Fury Cutter, however, with Fury Cutter, you are pretty much walled by you. With Fury Cutter, you don't do great against the Fire archetype, and Rock Throw, like Smackdown/Rock Throw, just tears through fire types like Swiss cheese. So again, Kingler, like Crustle, is very mighty when you smack down and throw rocks at your opponent. Razor Leafers are out here, and like I mentioned, Confusion users, Charmers, it's a freaking fast move Charmer experts galore, if that even exists. Like an expert in Charm, I don't think I would be impressed. Like, you can do what you want, but unless you are trying to fly through your sets and get your sets done quickly so you can go about your business. I personally don't approve of Charmers. You can do whatever the hell you want, but you know what I mean? Like, it's up to you. But anyways, as you see here, there's not really a lot of variety in the 1 shield. Same thing in the 2 shield. Things from before are going to be really good, and it's going to be just a little mix-up of who wants to use what. But we'll probably see more once the actual ratings come out, and we'll see exactly just how like it comes out. Because the new buffs and debuffs might flip these things around a bit, might order things around a bit, but I don't foresee too much of a huge change. And last but not least, we have the closers. When shields are down, your opponent or you will go to town. And as you see, Chansey XL exists in this cup. Now, Medicham XL is the #1 closer for good reason. Dynamic Punch and Psychic, or just Medicham XL in general, is an absolute destroyer of your elo. And it's incredibly powerful. Chansey as well, if you look at over here, Chansey is still really good. If you are able to eliminate the fighter, or if you don't have a fighter at all, Chansey is incredibly powerful in the closer. Even with Pound being debuffed, which I didn't know why that was even necessary, because like I mentioned before in my previous rants, if you noticed, Chansey, the reason why it's so annoying isn't because of Pound, it's because of the fact that it has such great bulk. If Niantic switched stats instead of just shifting movesets and started actually being a good company, because they're a terrible company, Go Valley would be so much balanced and just so much better now. Like, take individual mons and change their stats. They can do it. We know they can do it already. They've already done it in season all the way back in Generation 1 or Generation 2 when they did the CP rework. And they've changed and revamped stats, etc. So they can do it. They're just too lazy to do it. Anyways, as you see here, things that are able to nuke like Rotom Wash, etc. Again, we got Alomomola with Hydro Pump, Medicham with Dynamic Punch, Chansey with the Hyper Beam, Electrode with Discharge, as well as you can Hyper Beam with Electrode as well. It's freaking hilarious, and it's incredibly entertaining. So get beamed. Hashtag get beamed. Other than that, not too much of a difference between these top 10. Closers aren't too exciting, mostly because outside of Electrode, there's not like Wild Charge users, Close Combat, or anything of that sort. It's pretty much just a like fest of slow mons in the back, except for, like I mentioned, Octillery might change things a bit because Gunk Shot is a fantastic move and it can wipe out a lot of the Charmers, and it's just anything with lock on is nuts basically. Well, when you have Octazooka, which is a guaranteed debuff, you have Gunk Shot, and you have lock on, you're an absolute nightmare. So it might be good, but we'll have to see how it goes on. Other than that, if you scroll up and down, as you see, the top 15 to 20 don't really matter too much. Or I would say even like top 13, you're not likely to see the rest of these mons in here. No, seriously, you're not likely to see any of them. But again, that's subject to change. So we'll just see how the meta shapes out and see what everyone's running. And hopefully it's not too chaotic, which I don't foresee to be chaotic at all. This cup will be very similar to the previous Love Cup with all the moveset additions and just maybe a few position changes. But like I mentioned on the 1 shield, nothing too major. And that's GG's. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Love Cup is probably the least interesting out of the rest of the cups just because of how, like I said, fast move damage galore, Medicham and Lickitung XL, and you got freaking Charmers. Charm. And you got Mad Cargo. Fast move damage is the way, well, you don't have to do all fast move damage, but as you see here, the Love Cup is just, the good thing is, I suppose, compared to all the other cups, XLs didn't, well, even in Johto Cup, I would say, like, XLs don't really affect the cup this much. Like, Lickitung and Medicham kind of balance each other out. And the fact, well, XLs aren't balanced, I'm just saying. But anyways, it's just what it is. There'll probably be minimal changes unless 1, Niantic releases new mons, or 2, the moveset changes are really that meta changing, which I don't foresee too, like I mentioned, it's not going to shift too much. So before you start spending your Stardust, wait till the actual ranks come out. And like I mentioned, I don't foresee any changes. I looked ahead of time, I'm like, I don't really see anything that's really going to be super interesting. Maybe in the long run for a future cup, but as far as this cup, the Love Cup coming back is only to satisfy those Valentine's days. So hopefully you have a wonderful Valentine's Day, but we'll talk more about that as the days go by because we still got a while before February comes around. Till then, enjoy your holidays. Please like and subscribe. It's totally free. All you have to do to subscribe is the sub box next to Charmander right here. Yeah, just click on that. or put your mouse over it, and then the sub tab will pop up, and you can easily subscribe from there. Really appreciate my current subscribers. Good luck on your Go Bally sets, and I will see you guys on the next video.